What's up, guys? My name is Laura. Since this is my first YouTube video, I figured I would go ahead and introduce myself. I'm a photographer from Los Angeles, originally from the East Coast. I do a lot of product photography, portrait photography, travel photography. I absolutely love droning and doing aerial photography as well. And I also am obsessed with social media, Instagram, TikTok, you name it. So we'll definitely have some tips coming your way as far as social media and marketing your photography as well. But today, I'm going to teach you guys how to remove people from your photos in Photoshop. Now, we've all had it happen to us that like annoying tourist gets in the back of your photo with like a selfie stick and just photobombs you. You're never gonna have to worry about that again. Let's dive in. What's up, guys? Okay, so now that we have our image open in Photoshop, the first thing that we're gonna wanna do is hit Command J on our keyboard. Obviously, the layer has to be selected in order to do that. So what we're basically doing is just making a copy of our image. In case anything goes wrong with our photoshopping, we have a nice copy down here that's going to be called background, and we can always restore that if we need. So we're going to work on layer 1 when we do our edit, so make sure you click on layer 1. And then I'm just going to zoom in on my image. I like to use keyboard shortcuts, so I'm going to hit Command and then the plus sign at the same time to zoom in, I don't know, 3 or 4 times into my image. And you're going to want the person that you're removing from your photo to fill up, I would say, like around 10% of your screen. That's not a hard and fast rule, but you do want to be like pretty zoomed in on them so that you can see the detail of what you're doing. So now that I'm zoomed in, I'm going to go ahead and select my clone stamp tool. Essentially what the clone stamp tool is, I mean, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a stamp, and it's basically just a glorified copy and paste in Photoshop. So what we're going to want to do is go ahead and select an area that matches the area that would be underneath the person that we're removing. So obviously I don't know what exactly it looks like underneath the area where I'm standing because I'm standing over it, and so therefore I can't see it. But I do know that it's going to be this exact pool tile that we see here. So I'm just going to hold down Option and click on an area that doesn't contain any part of myself and matches whatever would be underneath me. Then I'm going to move my clone stamp tool over myself and just click and hold and drag. Now you can see that it looks a little bit obvious, so what I like to do is go ahead and bring my opacity down a little bit. This just means that the effect of the stamp is going to be slightly see-through or slightly opaque. It's not going to be totally solid. And I'm also going to bring my brush hardness down a little bit just so that the edges of the brush aren't super hard and obvious. Let's go back in and try that again. That looks a little bit better. You'll notice that when I first clicked and dragged, I wasn't completely covered up right in this area because, again, my brush is opaque. That's okay. Just go over it a few times. Keep selecting from a new area as you click and drag, because one thing that is really obvious in photoshopping is repeating patterns. If you see a lot of repeating patterns, it's usually a dead giveaway that some pretty bad photoshopping was done. So definitely avoid that. So just go ahead and keep working on your image. Again, we're really zoomed in, so it doesn't have to be perfect because you're not going to be able to see this detail, but I do try and keep the colors consistent. As you can see here, there's like a tile here and a tile here, so I try to go with straight lines. You can zoom in or out as you need by just holding the Command plus or Command minus option. Again, I'm just going to go with this line here to make this look as natural as possible. Now, if you accidentally clip part of an area that you didn't mean to, like let's say I did that, you can just hit Command Z to remove that effect. And remember, we still have that original photo layer that's called our background layer in case we need to remove any of these effects. And just to give you an example of what that might look like, we can actually go in and decrease the opacity here to reduce any effect on our layer that we would like, or we can hide this layer just to see what the original looked like, to see if we missed any areas. So Now that I've gotten to the edge of the pool, there's really no way to fix this area where my arm is going over the side of the pool tile into these stones. If I try and cover it up this way, the line is going to look a little bit unnatural, right? I mean, it's obviously not a huge deal, but we do want to try and keep those lines and any sharp patterns intact as much as we can. So what I'm going to do is option click right over where this line is perfectly intact and just move it parallel, move it in the same direction as the line, and then basically just paste that effect. Now you could see when I first clicked here, let me just do that again so you can see. When I first clicked here, part of this stone, only part of that stone got pasted. So I moved up just to complete that stone, just so that it looks natural. If I keep clicking here, you can see part of me that wasn't totally removed, which is this area right here, is going to come up. So I'm just going to take a new selection, just touch this area up, and that looks perfect. So now you can see this couple looks like they were enjoying a lovely day at the pool by themselves without me. That concludes my guide for how to remove people from your images. You'll never let another tourist get in your way. So good luck. Let me know how it goes. And if you have any questions, have a good one, guys.